My name is Bernard Baker. I'm president of People First of Georgia. I've been doing advocacy work for a long time. I'm about as old as Mark Johnson. I started this in 1993 when I went to, I think it was Chicago with Mark. He came to the Atlanta Center for Independent Living at the time, and actually Mark tricked me into this field, but now I love what I'm doing. He came to the Atlanta Center for Independent Living. They had this thing called Bring Your Own Bag Luncheon on Wednesdays. So I'm not knowing Mark. I'm listening to him be a speaker and talk about the things that he's doing. And he had just moved here from Denver, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. And he says, well, I got this neat little thing that I do, and it's called a dab. I've always been a go-getter. But a friend of mine got hit a couple of years before Mark got here. And that's basically what got me into this movement. I was crossing the street one night where I live, me and a friend of mine, God rest his soul, and he got hit by a car. That same night, the lady missed me by 2 inches. And she ran the red light, and she drugged him at least. She knocked him up in the air. He was under an electric chair, and it folded the chair. And I crossed the street. Just as I crossed, he got ready to come across, and she ran the red light and hit him, and I heard him holler. And when he hollered, he went up in the air, hit the front end of her car, and it folded his chair. And when she stopped, she dragged him at least 5 feet up the street. And it wasn't funny back then, but now I can tease myself and say she almost got 2 for the price of 1. But he lived about 4 days before his birthday. Where you saw one of us, you saw both of us. He was just like a brother to me. And right after that is when I met Mark, because before I met Mark, it took me about maybe a month or two to decide I was going to even get back in my chair and do what I needed to do. I've always been a person, a go-getter. And I've always said I'm going to go out and get what I had to get. But it took me a while to get back in the swing of doing things. But now that I'm in it, I've done so many movements till it's not even funny. I'm the founder of People First of Georgia. I'm one of the founders for ADAPT. And I helped start it, a whole lot of organizations.
ADAPT in Atlanta.
ADAPT in Atlanta. And I went to National ADAPT with Mark, and that's what really got me into this movement. Mark tricked me into that. The first ADAPT action that I went to, I took suits and ties. Suit, ties, and white shirts. Lo and behold, I get there and meet all these crazy folks thinking I'm going to... Mark called it a meeting. He said it was going to be a bunch of workshops. People going to sit around with suits and ties on and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I didn't know no better. I took suits, ties, white shirts. And all of a sudden, these crazy folks start crawling up and down these steps. And I'm looking saying, what the heck is this about? I'm being nice. That ain't what I said. Then I look up and say, Lord, what have I gotten into? All of a sudden, I met people like Bob Koppel, who was with National ADAPT. And these people start crawling out of the chairs and crawling up steps because we wanted to get lifts on buses so that people could ride. But now that I've been doing that, I guess I can call myself one of the old pros. But we've got a long ways. We've come a long ways, but we've got a long ways to go. And my theory is we got to get younger people into this. My daughter, who's a 4-year-old, just came to her first march today, and she loved it. Her and my goddaughter, they both loved it. So, and we've got a lot of young kids that came with Barbara Ann, Giovanni, and the kids love it. And that's what we got to get into, getting more kids into this movement. Because people like myself are getting too old to do it. Having a lot of health problems, but I got to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing until God calls me home. Because I've seen a lot of people I'm sorry, Cheri. I got to the point where I thought about Gwen with this and I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't. Ready? It brings back a lot of memories of old people that I know, like Teresa Monroe, Leonard Roscoe.
Tell us a little bit about Teresa.
Teresa Monroe was one of the original founders with me and a lady by the name of Grace Fricks, who started the group People First. Mark tricked me into another one. I met Grace at the Capitol one night at the legislative thing at the Capitol. And Mark introduced me to Grace, and Grace said, how would you like to help me start this group up called People First? Me not knowing what I'm doing again, I always volunteered and said I'll go for it. That might have been one of the biggest mistakes I made, but I love what I'm doing. Started out with me, Grace, and Teresa. Teresa's no longer here, but that's one reason I got to keep up the fight. Because Teresa was a very feisty young woman. I called her the mother hen of the movement. Because whatever she said she was going to do, she believed in it. She would argue with a rock and a signboard. Sign say, stop. Teresa say, I'm going. And Leonard Roscoe, you couldn't tell him nothing. He didn't believe it stank until it hit him in the face. But that was Leonard. And that's the kind of people, and I mean, that's what keeps me going. I broke down in tears a few minutes ago and had to redo this part of the video, because every time I think about them, it makes me get more adrenaline of what I'm doing. Thinking about Gwen and Miss Onita Gordon coming out of the nursing home. And one of the vows that I made to Onita before she passed away last year is that I would not see another person stay in a nursing home. Gwen had a stroke on the 9th and had to go into rehabilitation. But to me, rehabilitation is nothing but a nursing home. If you really sit down and look at it, if nobody's not staying on top of people, that's what rehab is, a nursing home. And I'm making this vow to Gwen today. If she will go ahead and go through rehab and do what she needs to do, she will no longer be in that nursing home. Because of some things she's asked me to do, I intend to do it. And I'm having to do a fight with her family, but I love a good challenge. And I'm an old pro at this. Cane is not in my vocabulary. So when people say I can't do something, I do it just because they say I can't. And that's all I have to say, and thank you.